let's go with our divisional picks. Who we think's going to take the cake in the divisions uh, as of right now, where we sit at the end of this weekend. Let's start with the AFC. I feel like the AFC is less of an exciting one than the NFC. I feel like there's a lot. I feel like the NFC has taken the cake this year. So let's start in the AFC. Let's start in the AFC North. So
AFC
in
North.
the AFC North currently, you've got Baltimore in the lead, and they've got a pretty big lead in the AFC North right now. 10-3 right now. Browns right behind them at 8-5. Pittsburgh behind the Browns at 7-6, tied with the Bengals at 7-6. So a lot of good teams there in the AFC North. I want to get y'all's pick on who can kind of shake it up or win it all there in the division.
Yeah, my preseason pick, I had the Bengals. Well, I didn't know that Joe Burrow is going to get hurt this season. So with all that, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I think that if Lamar can continue to play the way that he is, the wide receivers, Odell has quietly stepped up for them. Zay Flowers, I mean, he's been an absolute dog for them this season. They got a defense. So I think Cleveland without a quarterback there, Pittsburgh without a quarterback, and Cincinnati without a quarterback, the division without quarterbacks, and Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens. I think that Baltimore not only is going to be my pick for the AFC North, I think that they finish at the top of the AFC as well.
I'm going to agree with Tyler. I'll go with Baltimore. I think Cincinnati's looked really good without Joe Burrow, and Jake Browning's done a great job. But they needed some help because they lost some games. Even when Burrow was in there, they lost to the Ravens twice. So it's going to be really hard to come back and take down the Ravens. And the Ravens just keep winning. I mean, they just kind of seem like a really battle-tested team, like I mentioned.
Yeah, I'll go with it too. Cleveland's got too many issues with Flacco starting quarterback this week, even though they get the win. The old guy there,
Old Joe,
trying to take the Browns to beat his old team here. So no, I don't think that anybody's going to catch the Ravens. I think they're playing the best football in the NFL right now on the last 2-week stretch. I feel like they're really kind of forming what their offense is. Like you said, Odell coming back in the picture. So yeah, I've got Baltimore as well. Let's go to the AFC East right now. Of course, the Dolphins are 9-3 where we sit right now. They could win, they could lose. A lot could happen with that loss there. Right behind them are the Bills at 7-6. A lot of good teams at 7-6 right now. The Jets currently at 5-8. It feels like it's been a long time since the Jets have not been last in the division. And the only reason they're last in the division because the New England Patriots are sucking it up and tanking for a draft pick at this point at 3-10 and have automatically at this point in the season been eliminated from the playoffs. So that's where we stand. Who do we think? Can Buffalo make a push? Does Miami have it in the bag right now?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think that Buffalo will still make it into the playoffs and be a wild card and be a sneaky wild card too. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins with that high-powered offense and their defense too has been coming on strong. So give me the Dolphins to win the division.
Yeah, I agree there. I think the Bills could make the playoffs, but this is a team kind of like the Bengals that made some big errors early in the season, kind of put themselves behind the 8 ball. Dolphins have looked really good all year. I think that this team will do well. I don't think they make it as far in the playoffs as some people, but I do think they win this division.
I'm going to go with Buffalo, and here's why. I think the Dolphins have a tougher stretch at the end of the season here. Regardless of next week, they play the Jets. But aside from that, I feel like the rest of the way is really tough. Cowboys, still got to play the Cowboys. They still have to play the Bills, and they're playing the Ravens. So a lot there happens to finish the season for them. So I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to go with the Bills only because they're battle-tested. I feel like they're the most battle-tested team right now in contention in that division. So I'm going to roll with them. Because I feel like the Jets are out of it. The Jets could be a wild card team if Aaron Rodgers comes back. Who knows? So anything could happen there. But yeah, right now I'll stick with the Bills just because of their battle testedness. Let's go to the AFC South. Right now, the Jags 8-5 are leading the division. Right behind them, the Colts making an interesting push at 7-6. I don't think anybody knew who their quarterback was going to be going in the offseason. Tied with Houston at 7-6. What a turnaround for that franchise. And bringing up the rear there are the Tennessee Titans right now, who are currently leading the Miami Dolphins at 4-8 right now. So how do we feel about the Jags? I mean, only one game clear of the field, it seems like there.
But they got Trevor back. It seemed like doom and gloom for them. They lost Christian Kirk. It looked like Trevor was going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks in his own right. So that was a pleasant surprise to see him play and play really well against the Cleveland Browns, who are a tough defense. So that cements my pick for the Jags. I do like that the Colts are making a run at it. I think it would be fun to see that team make it with the backup quarterback and running back. Michael Pittman's had a really good year, but ultimately I do think that Jacksonville gets it done.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is probably the toughest one of the AFC. You know what? I might as well do it. Give me the Houston Texans to win the AFC South. I know that they just got curb stomped by the Jets. They lost 30-6. Was one of their worst games of the season so far. But looking down the stretch, Jacksonville, they have Baltimore this week, and that's going to be a tough one. I don't think that they get through that, and then also Houston and Jacksonville with the split season series.
I think we potentially lost Tyler.
All right. While we're on a pause here, the funniest thing just happened in this Green Bay and New York game. The Green Bay guy absolutely decapitated Tommy DeVito and did not get called for unnecessary roughness. They punted the ball. The guy who had the hit on DeVito was the punt returner. He fumbled the ball twice on the same play, and now the Giants have the ball at the 25-yard line. So it was a little bit of poetic justice. Justice was served, and DeVito just ran it in for a touchdown. So, oh my gosh.
Well, that's a turn of events.
Oh, they're saying he's down at 1. But
so
that's your little sidebar while we were reading.
Well, then you're going to get a Saquon Barkley 1-yard rushing touchdown coming up then.
So Saquon could get his second touchdown of the game there in this one. But
he hasn't played too well.
No. DeVito
might have gotten it. We'll see.
Maybe so. We'll see what happens. But yeah, for the AFC South, I'm gonna go with the Jags. I feel like they have the easiest stretch to close the season out, because Indianapolis and Houston both have to play each other again to close out the season. So the Jags' toughest game of the year is next week against the Ravens. But after that, it's Bucks, Panthers, and Titans to close it out. All teams with losing records right now. So I feel like they're okay right now. I feel if Trevor Lawrence can sustain, coming back from the injury, it definitely they can win that division. Good to see the Jags bouncing back there, even though great season from the Texans. Tyler's pick. I would love to see the Texans pull it out and do it. They might, who knows? I mean, that division's very much up for grabs in that one. To another one that's still up for grabs, and it hasn't been for a really long time. That's the AFC West.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs are still leading at 8-5 currently. But who's on their heels other than the team that went on a 5-game win streak? They're 7-6 now. Oh my God, they have a winning record. The Denver Broncos are back in the picture.
Man, the Chargers must be kicking themselves, because this is the year they could do it. People thought they would. We did. We fell for it 2 years in a row. Chiefs get it done, but man, it would be fun to see the Broncos do it.
It would be fun. I mean, the Sean Payton effect. I mean, he goes to Denver. I know that they went 1-5, but after that, they really figured it out. Coming off of a really good performance against the Chargers. The Chargers have been disappointment after disappointment. Broncos this week have the Lions this week. If they get, that win somehow, some way, they get the Patriots, Chargers, and the Raiders to close it out. It's kind of an easy schedule there. KC has an easy schedule too. Looking at it, the Patriots, Raiders, Bengals, Chargers. So with that, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I mean, it's hard to bet still against Patrick Mahomes, but that would just be a crazy story if the Broncos somehow, some way pulled it out of their hats and won this division.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the crazy story. I think they can do it. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos. Here's why. I think that they can outlast the Chiefs. I mean, there's a scenario where who knows how the Chiefs go into next week, with everything that's happened. Who knows what happens up in New England? I mean, at this point, I mean, the Bills went into Arrowhead and won a game. I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen. The week before, KC goes to Green Bay and gets the socks beat off of them there in Green Bay. So, I mean, a lot can happen in the last couple of weeks here. I mean, I do think here's the interesting thing. I think the Chargers are going to bring up the rear in the division, to be honest with you. I think that
if Herbert's out for the year.
Now that Herbert's done, I think that they honestly are going to fall behind. And it's nothing against the Chargers. I just feel like without him, they're not going to be too much. I don't think that they can trust their backup to come in there. And I don't even know who the heck their backup is.
Is it Max Duggan time?
Is it Max Duggan? Is it really?
No, it's Easton Stick.
Oh, I want to see Max Duggan. Come on.
Come back Max in Duggan's the place where he was.
Dang.
Could you imagine? But no. I think Denver can do it. I think they're the closest bet for me to pull something out in the AFC. So potential team to crack the wild card there in the AFC. So lots to come from the AFC. Not as exciting as the NFC. The NFC is exciting. NFC East, Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles are both at 10-3. Dallas has the head-to-head currently, and the Giants and Commanders bringing up the rear. Who do we got here?
Yeah, really look at the two remaining schedules. Definitely Philly has the easier stretch, but I'm going to go with Dallas. I think that they're really playing well, that defense. I don't care who they play at this point. I'm just going to go with it. I was going back and forth on both of these teams coming down to the wire. So give me the Cowboys to take this division.
I'm going to take Dallas as well, and I know that Tony Pollard fantasy owners might not like to hear this, but a big reason why I'm doing this is I think Dallas is finally going back to that 2 running back system that's worked pretty well for them.
Yeah, Dowdle has really been good.
Yeah, Dowdle's been a good player. I think that's just kind of how they operate. These 2 backs will do well, and Dak's going to stretch the field to Brandon Cooks and to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, to me, has established himself as a top receiver in the game this year, and he's been really impressive. So, and the defense, I mean, how many times have we seen them come up clutch? I know that sometimes they get burnt and they let up a lot of points like they did to Seattle and San Fran, but when you need a clutch play on defense, I feel like this team's always there. So I like Dallas for now.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Dallas also. I think Dallas can do it. They looked really good against Philly, and nobody else in that division looks like they can hold a stick to what's going on there for the Cowboys. So enough of that boring division, it feels like. To the NFC North, a lot can happen here in this division, it feels like, at any given time. Detroit leads the division at 9-4, looking at a 10-win season possibly. Right behind them, 2 games back, are the Minnesota Vikings. Right behind them, the Green Bay Packers have worked themselves back into contention in the North. And bringing up the rear are the Bears. Who do we got here? Are we looking for an upset? Coming Green Bay's kind of chugging along here, or do the Lions hold on?
I think the Lions hold on, but there definitely is a cause of panic, especially with the past couple of weeks. I just don't know what's going on with this team. They look like world beaters for the first 8 to 10 weeks of the week, and then you hit the bye week, and all of a sudden they're a different team. But looking at the other teams, I think that Green Bay might sneak their way into the playoffs. But the way that Minnesota's been looking, I mean, my gosh, this offense is just lost without Kirk Cousins at the helm. So I still feel confident Detroit finishing the deal.
Yeah, I like Detroit to finish it too. I mean, this is why you have to get off to a hot start. And you can buy yourself a bad week or two mid-season like we are now. So I think this team's getting some of the bad stuff out the way. I think they'll be fine. I don't think they make as big of a run as I thought they could in the playoffs. I really like either Dallas or Philadelphia more than Detroit, but I think this team has the pieces to win the division.
Yeah, I'm going to go Detroit also. I think they can do it. Just hold on for dear life. Minnesota looks like they're falling apart. And I think Green Bay, even if they do win out, I do think that they're still going to be short of the Lions or close to them, but I still think they'll fall short of what Detroit's done up there. Moving to the NFC West, I'm going to save the best for last. We're moving to the NFC West. Right now, the San Francisco 49ers are 3 right now. Behind them, the Rams 6-7.
They can't catch
Seattle
them.
6-7. Arizona 3-10. I mean, talk about a division that's fallen apart other than San Fran. They look like they're running the NFC right now, along with the Cowboys. So I don't think we even need to talk about the NFC West. I don't
49ers.
think anybody has any points.
I think the
Niners
49ers might be the pick of the NFC.
They might be. I think
Yeah,
I'm going to roll with them. I think so. I think they can be.
Yeah,
They look
Brock
like the
Purdy.
best
I mean,
team
362 yards coming off of a really good game. I mean, it's tough to beat.
I think Brock Purdy's got to be my dog of the week every week they win. So maybe that's something going forward. To the NFC South. Here's the exciting division. Oh my God. The only division with a losing record team that is currently leading the division, the Tampa Bay Bucks, are 6-7. They are leading the division. Right behind them at 6-7 is the Atlanta Falcons, and behind them at 6-7 also is the New Orleans
right
Saints.
behind them.
And bringing up the rear is the eliminated Carolina Panthers. We're sorry, Wade, for this one at 1-12 after an abysmal showing.
How are you already eliminated from your division when the leader doesn't even have a winning record? That's how you know you're bad.
The Patriots
really
are like
tough.
the only other team that's eliminated, and the Cardinals.
So yes. Well, the Cardinals aren't eliminated yet.
Well, they will be because
So
they play the 49ers, and they'll get curb stomped.
They're going to get curb stomped in that one. But yeah, the Carolina and New England are the only two right now. How do we feel about the division? Do the Saints still have a chance? I think everybody has a chance at this point, but who has the best shot at winning the division when it all is said and done?
I just want to go back to, I'm going to give me a cone of shame moment here. I drank so much of the Kool-Aid thinking that Derek Carr was just world beat over quarterback. I said that this team was going to go 11-6, and here's why. They had one of the easiest schedule in football. When you have a freaking clown as a head coach and a bum as a quarterback, they find a way to be average or be even below average. So I'm not going to go with the Saints. I don't think that they're going to do it. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. I think that with Desmond Ridder and the boys, I think that Bijan Robinson, the first half of the season, it was like Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson was still in the mix. And what do? They started on winning with Bijan. I know that they just lost to Tampa, but Tampa, who knows about them? They're up and down. But I'm going to go with the young talent of the ATL, go with the Falcons to win the NFC South. Barely. It won't be. It's going to probably win it like 8-9 or 9-8, somebody like that. It's going to take a miracle for one of these teams to get over 500.
I'm going to go with the Bucks, and here's why. I think they just have the most consistent quarterback play, and they have head-to-head wins now over Atlanta and New Orleans. So when we're talking about a division that's going to come down to the final weekend, it's really helpful to have the tiebreaker over both teams at the moment.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Tyler, Atlanta. I think the Falcons can do it. They have a win against the Bucks earlier in the year, so they split. They also have the win over the Saints right now, the one in Atlanta. They still have to play in New Orleans to close the season out. But I feel like the Falcons have the easiest schedule to finish the season in the division, and I feel like they're the best team to capitalize. Panthers coming up this week. They're 3-point favorites on the road. Toughest game left on the schedule they're playing at home is against Indianapolis, the only other team with a winning record on their schedule. So and Indianapolis could be a team with a losing record by the time we get there, 500. So a lot could happen with that. I think I agree. Desmond Ridder, Bijan Robinson, big. Drake London, huge week for them.